What's up, guys? Today we're taking a look at another August 2021 LEGO Star Wars set courtesy of LEGO. This is the Mandalorian Starfighter. This is set number 75316. It'll be retailing for $59.99 here in the US, launching on August 1st. There are no pre-orders open for this set, and this is one of two Clone Wars TV show sets that we will be getting this year. A huge thanks to LEGO for providing this copy for review today. Of course, all opinions will be my own. I also want to give a huge thank you to Empire Lug for sharing this review copy with me, so you guys can check out my Empire Lug review video of this guy down below in the description. Make sure you guys go check it out. Another disclaimer, this is a set I was most looking forward to from this entire wave. The Bad Batch shuttle actually surprised me for my review if you guys haven't checked it out, but I'm going to try to be as unbiased as I possibly can because this is something I've been very much looking forward to. So let's go ahead and start with the front of the box here. We do have the Mandalorian Starfighter itself. The color definitely has changed quite considerably since the previous Mandalorian Starfighter or Fang Fighter set that we know. Of course, you got the minifigures on the bottom right, all three of which are brand new. On the back of the set, you guys do have a little bit of a better picture of the shuttle itself. You also do have the play features, all the cool graphics associated with the set. So this is something I am very much looking forward to. I'm going to shut up and let's go ahead and start building. So after about an hour of building the 550-piece set, we have a final version of the Mandalorian Starship. Now, like I said, this is my favorite set that I've been most looking forward to, and honestly, building it, seeing the minifigures, seeing the functionality of the ship with the very minimal complaints I have about the technical builds of it, I gotta say this is probably going to be my favorite set of the summer wave. So let's dive in on into the minifigures first, which is the most exciting part, at least for me. Three brand new, completely exclusive minifigures. We have Bo Katan, which is probably the one most of us are looking forward to, if not Gar Saxon. But we'll first talk about Bo Katan. Now, I've seen a lot of custom different versions of Bo Katan, whether it be decaled, printed from other companies, and I gotta say, LEGO did a great job. LEGO knocked it out of the park 100%. The only thing that could possibly make this better is arm printing, but that's incredibly small of a nitpick. So I do want to talk about the Bo Katan first. Helmet looks amazing. I've seen other custom helmets before. The size looks very accurate, and the printing especially looks immaculate with the white and the blue, which is amazing. She does come with two dual blasters, of course, a gunmetal jetpack, and then, of course, the antenna, which is nice that we're seeing it at least on her, and not unfortunately crosshair, but that's for another time. You can see here the printing is definitely a lot more different than any normal Death Watch Trooper or Loyalist. She has a lot more detail, especially the silver. For some reason, the silver to me pops out a little more when you're looking at the Bo Katan minifigure. What's really cool is that she does have feet printing, which is awesome. Happy that's there. We do have a brown utility belt, very reminiscent of Jango Fett, very like sort of chromy silver type look, which is amazing. And then taking a look at the back here, nothing too crazy with the back printing. But overall, I think LEGO 100% knocked it out of the park. Like I said, the only thing that could possibly make this better is arm printing, but that's not really something I'm going to hold against LEGO for doing. Next, let's talk about the Death Watch Loyalist. This is what I would call the grunt of the set, the very standard trooper. So a couple of things to notice right off the bat about this guy is the printing looks a lot more dirty. It looks a lot more rugged when you compare it to both Gar Saxon and Bo Katan. Of course, Gar Saxon we'll get into in a little bit. Here's a better look at the minifigure itself. Now, there is no printed head. It's just a regular black head, which I honestly couldn't care less about, but I know a lot of people might find a problem with that. It does come with one small blaster. Of course, the same exact jetpack that Bo Katan comes with as well. One thing I forgot to mention is both Bo Katan and the Death Watch Loyalist come with brown hips. I'm not really too sure how accurate that is. I'd probably have to go back and rewatch the episode. But a very nice, rugged-looking Mandalorian figure. Now, like I said, it's been a while since we've gotten these guys back, and of course, that might hinder my opinion a little bit. But no complaints here. We have the same exact mold as the Mandalorian helmet used in the Battle Pack that came out, I believe, in 2020. Yeah. 2020. And then here's a little bit of a look at the back of the minifigure itself. Like I said, a lot of cool details, very dirty, very rugged. It makes it look like the minifigures had their fair share of battles and encounters. So overall, definitely a thumbs up for the Death Watch Loyalist. And the last one, the one I've been most excited for, and probably you have too, Gar Saxon. Probably one of the coolest looking enemies that we've seen in Star Wars, the Clone Wars TV show. This minifigure is a 10 out of 10 for me. I have zero complaints about him. Let's start off with my favorite things. Of course, we have a beautiful helmet. Brand new mold, of course, with the maul horns going up around the helmet, which is nice. You do have beautiful printing for the yellow color that comes from the visor, as well as the red, black, and then gray accents throughout the entire helmet itself. Here's a look at the Gar Saxon head. Very accurate. You have the sort of like really lightly shaved beard, which is definitely reminiscent of how he looks in the show, which is always amazing. Accuracy is definitely important when it comes to these guys. As you move down, you get to see the really true amazing prints on this Gar Saxon. I love the look of the Maul Mandalorian. Always have, and I always will, and this is definitely proving my point here. You got beautiful accents of red. You got the little diamond shape in the center of the chest plate here, so very different from the Mandalorian Loyalist, which I think is definitely important to differentiate between the two factions. I get, like all other minifigures, we do have the feet printing for the shoes, which is nice, or the boots, or whatever you want to call them. If you look at the legs, you do see sort of like the other prints that represent the other sort of lower half garments of the minifigure. Overall, I really think LEGO did an absolutely fantastic job with all three of these minifigures. I have zero complaints. That is my completely unbiased opinion, and I'm happy to have finally a Gar Saxon minifigure in my collection. Now the minifigures out of the way, let's talk a little bit about the Starfighter shuttle itself. So really only a couple of things that threw me off with the Mandalorian Starfighter, and these have actually been complaints that we've sort of known about for a while since the pictures leaked and all that kind of stuff. Two big complaints I want to start off with. Number one, the most important one, the cockpit. There is this disgusting gap between the cockpit top and the bottom. I'm not too sure why that is. I feel like there could have been other pieces used. However, it does accommodate for two minifigures instead of one. The compromise would have been made if obviously if there was no gap in the cockpit, there would have probably only been room for one minifigure with the jetpack on. I honestly feel like I would have rather preferred only room for one minifigure and then a completely sealed cockpit, but I guess this is not what they went with. And then number two is that there's no landing gear. There was no landing gear in the Bad Batch shuttle, and there's no landing gear in this one. That's a really disappointing thing for me because it's just not accurate. It's just not how I want it to look. So when you stand it up, it's standing up on the engines. And of course, if we're thinking hyper realistically, if you have all your ship's weight on the engines and the front nose, it's probably not going to last you very long. So this is how it looks standing up. It doesn't look bad at all. I just feel like having landing gear would have elevated the set to another level. So now that I've bashed the set enough, let's definitely talk about some of the things I love. First off, the color scheme. I love the color scheme. It's a lot different than the older version of the Mandalorian Fang Fighter, as I commonly call it, or the Mandalorian Starfighter. The colors are beautiful. We have a mix of both grays, dark and light, and both blues, dark and light. I love the way the wings are constructed. They're basically layers of wedge plates, very similar to how the Bad Batch was made. You can see here all the different colors going on. I love this color palette a lot more than the previous version, and all the plates, the wedges, and the tiles make up a really nice looking shape, I guess, for lack of a better term. Now, one thing I absolutely love is if you actually hold the Starfighter like this, what does this remind you of? If you look at a Mandalorian helmet, this should look very familiar in some way. And I think that was definitely intentional when they made this head, not necessarily LEGO, but just as an overall design feature of the ship from Star Wars. Here's a better look at the cockpit. Again, you do have a really open gap, which is disappointing, but you do have enough room for both minifigures. And what's interesting is that there are no studs on the bottom of the cockpit. Now, this is going to actually help you put both minifigures inside with their jetpacks. You don't have to take them off, which I actually found was a really good relief and something I was looking forward to, but I didn't know if they were actually going to do it. So again, no studs in the bottom for the bottom of the cockpit, which allows you to put them in with the jetpacks, which is good. Now, in terms of functionality and features, here's basically how it works. We have the two separations. We have the cockpit piece and the back engine. There's a ball joint that connects the two, and you can pretty much swivel this thing throughout its entirety, which is nice. Full 360, very sturdy, which is good. And again, it's just one ball joint that pretty much keeps everything together. Now, as far as the wings go, you guys pretty much just saw how they were arranged, but they can pretty much go all the way back and all the way forward. This is pretty much very similar to features that the Bad Batch shuttle has as well. But overall, I do love the look of it because I think if you have it flying and you want to sort of keep it, level, I think this is a really cool way to do it with the Fang Fighter, just as a general design for the starship itself. And I think the way LEGO executed that is pretty damn near perfect. A couple of last quick things. We do have missile launchers on either side. We have stud shooters on the cockpit as well. And on the back, you guys can see here, we have the engines. Now, these engines are actually used a little bit differently, something we don't traditionally see in LEGO sets. They're actually made by brackets instead of simple studs on the side. We pretty much have neck brackets, but basically for actual bigger ships. And you have these 2x2 round plates with the trans clear part that allows it to be a little bit cooler, honestly, than the standard traditional, trans blue tile that we see in engines all too often. So I really do appreciate that. And then just getting a quick look at the underside of it, you can see how it's constructed. Again, it's just basically layers and layers of plates with more details structured throughout the entirety. And you could also see how the wings are connected to the main body and everything like that. So does this set live up to the hype? Does the Mandalorian Starfighter 75316 live up to the hype? For me, for $60, you cannot go wrong. 3 brand new minifigures, and I love them absolutely. A very good looking Starfighter, very displayable and very swooshable, which is to me very, very important. So I'm really excited to actually have this set finally. Like I said, guys, below, check out the link to my Empire Lug review. Go subscribe to that channel, go check it out, go support them as well. So huge thanks to Lego and Empire Lug for getting me this review copy. Overall, the set is damn near perfect. The only things I have to complain about is the empty cockpit space, the lack of gears on the bottom, and that's pretty much it. Let me know down below in the comments, guys, what you think. I'm so happy you guys are enjoying these Lego Star Wars reviews. I hope you guys are enjoying them, at least. I'm having a lot of fun. Let me know down below if this is going to be a day one pickup for you. Do you think this is worth $60? What do you think of the minifigures? I want to hear what you guys think down below in the comments. Drop a like. Make sure you guys subscribe. We'll see you later. Take it easy. Peace.